Mastering English Modals. Ought not to. Uncovered. Hello everyone. Welcome back to our Grammar Fundamentals series. Today, we are delving deeper into the world of modal verbs, specifically focusing on the modal verb, ought to. But there's a twist. We are going to explore its negative form, ought not to, or the contraction, oughtn't to. Get ready to become a modal verb master. Before we dive into ought not to, let's do a quick recap of the verb, ought to. This is a modal verb used to express duty or moral obligation. For example, you ought to tell the truth. She ought to finish her homework. It can also be used to give advice or make recommendations. Like this: you ought to see that movie. It's excellent. I ought to eat healthier. Got it? Now, let's flip this to its negative form. The negative form of ought to is ought not to, or oughtn't to. We use this when we want to say that it is not necessary or advisable to do something. For example, you ought not to go out without a coat. It's freezing. They oughtn't to eat so much junk food. It's not healthy. Just like ought to, ought not to, is often used for giving advice or expressing opinions. For everyday conversation or in less formal writing, we often use the contraction, oughtn't to. For instance, I oughtn't to have stayed up so late. We oughtn't to forget Mom's birthday. Notice how the contraction, oughtn't to, is followed by a verb in its base form. Have, forget. This is an important rule to remember. Now it's time for some practice. Let's make sentences using ought not to, or oughtn't to. Write down your sentences and try using them in your daily conversations. Remember, practice makes perfect. And that's it. You've just mastered the negative form of ought to, ought not to, and its contraction, oughtn't to. Keep practicing, and before you know it, you'll be using these like a native speaker. Stay tuned for more grammar insights in our next video. Until then, happy learning!